Arthur had been invisible for 12 years. In the high-octane hallways of Sterling and Associates, he was nothing more than the scent of lemon floor wax and the rhythmic squeak of a mop. He was the man who emptied the trash of Ivy League graduates who didn't even know his last name. If you value the integrity of those who work in the shadows, subscribe right now. Last Tuesday, the office was a pressure cooker. The firm was minutes away from losing its biggest client, a merger that held the fate of 500 jobs in the balance. The CEO, Marcus Sterling, was pacing the glass-walled conference room, his tie loosened, sweat pooling on his brow. The legal team had hit a brick wall. A missing clause in a decade-old contract was about to bankrupt them all. Arthur was there, as he always was, buffing the scuff marks near the door. He overheard Marcus screaming into his phone about a lost filing from 2014. Arthur stopped his machine. He remembered 2014. That was the year the previous owners tried to shred the unnecessary archives. He had saved those boxes. He had moved them to the basement furnace room because he knew that history, no matter how dusty, always holds the truth. He tried to speak up. "Excuse me, Mr. Sterling?" Arthur whispered. Marcus didn't even look at him. He just snapped, "Not now, Arthur. Get the coffee stains out of the rug and get out." The disrespect was a familiar sting, but Arthur didn't move. He watched as the young executives blamed one another, their expensive watches ticking away the final moments of their careers. They were brilliant, sure, but they were blinded by their own reflected light. They saw a janitor's uniform. They didn't see the man who had spent 30 years reading law books in his studio apartment because he couldn't afford the bar exam. Arthur walked toward the head of the table. The room went silent. The lead partner, a man half Arthur's age, chuckled. "Lost your way to the broom closet, Pops?" Arthur didn't flinch. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, tarnished key. He laid it on the mahogany table right in front of Marcus. "The 2014 liabilities aren't in the digital cloud, Marcus. They're in the sub-basement, locker 4B. And you'll find the signature you're looking for on page 12 of the original addendum." The air left the room. Marcus stared at the key, then at the man he had ignored for over a decade. He saw the calluses on Arthur's hands and the sharp, piercing intelligence in his eyes. Before the climax of this moment is revealed, like this video if you believe everyone deserves respect. Marcus took the key and ran. 10 minutes later, he returned, breathless, clutching a yellow document. It was the silver bullet they needed. The merger was saved. The firm was alive. The executives began to cheer, but Arthur was already back at his mop, working on a stubborn stain near the window. Marcus walked over, his face flushed with shame. He didn't offer a tip. He didn't offer a good job. He stood in front of Arthur and bowed his head. "I've spent 12 years looking past you," Marcus said, his voice cracking. "I thought I was the one building this empire, but you were the one holding the foundation together while I forgot how to look down." The next morning, the staff arrived to a shock. There was a new name on the door of the corner office, the one that had been vacant for years. Arthur wasn't in his blue coveralls. He was wearing a charcoal suit, sitting at the head of the boardroom table, not as a janitor, but as the newly appointed chief of operations. He didn't need their validation, he had always had his own. He looked at the room of stunned faces and said only one thing: "The floors are clean. Now, let's see if we can clean up your ethics." Comment legacy if you agree that character is who you are when no one is watching. Your life reflects your standards. Always choose to be a person of substance, for yourself and for those who think you are invisible.